Super Smash Bros. Melee was the game that made me buy a GameCube. Well, that and Animal Crossing. I remember playing the game at various places before it was out, and I just could not be more excited by what I saw. And when I finally got the game, I sunk fucking ridiculous amount of time into it, unlocking all the characters and stages, and all these trophies, and completing all the events, and hitting Sandbag, and it was all a wondrous experience. Now, as much as I loved Melee, though, I never really viewed it as a competitive fighting game. You know, like Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Melty Blood. God, I hope people remember Melty Blood. You probably don't. Some of you do. I remember Melty Blood. I played some the other day just to remind myself how bad I am at Melty Blood. It's not really the point I'm trying to make here. I didn't view the game as a competitive game, and so I didn't play it as such. I didn't even know that it had a competitive scene for a while there, and of course I know now, because internet. But I was in the dark there for a really long time, and even though I'll probably never view it as a high-level competitive game, it's still fun as hell, and for the people who do play it at a high level and make it competitive, I have the utmost respect for you. And now, we segue into the point I've been trying to make here before this intro happened. For, as some of you may know, Super Smash Bros. Melee is appearing at EVO this year, which is pretty rad. Haven't seen it yet because as of this audio recording, EVO hasn't happened, but I'm gonna assume that everything went well and that Chris G lost because somewhere in the world, a PlayStation 3 lagged. In celebration of Melee's appearance at EVO, though, and because of the fact that it is Fighting Game Month, by the way, because in case you didn't know, and because I've been getting requests to do this for a while now, today on Gaming Mysteries, I'll be talking about the beta of Super Smash Bros. Melee. We'll start off with stages. Deep within Melee, or on the internet, you'll find 4, technically 5, though really 4, depending on what you want to count, stages that weren't used in the final product. These stages are Akenia, 10-2, Ice Top, Dummy, and Test. Even though these are still in the game in some form, you can't really access them under normal circumstances, and trying to access them in not normal circumstances will make the game freeze a bunch, but if you fuck around with it for a while, you'll get something eventually. Now, the only stages people seem to be able to access are Ice Top and 10-2, both of which are pretty much the same thing. Dummy, which is this lovely black screen going on right here. Most people will agree that no one really knows the purpose of Dummy or what it was supposed to be, but some have speculated that it's the victory screen you'd see at the end of a versus mode match. There you go. You can also access Test, which is the best stage in the game. We'll get to that in a second, though, but Akenia seems to be completely inaccessible. But look, here's this picture. It's almost like we're actually in the stage. So same thing. But of course, the best stage is the one I haven't talked about that much yet. Test. It's a giant, bland-ass gray stage with a bar in the background. You know, everyone's favorite Nintendo level, the bar. Some have questioned as to what this place could be, or why such a thing would be in the game, and I would think it's obvious. Look at the games Nintendo makes. Okay, now look at Miyamoto. Okay, now look at this picture of him holding dangerous weapons on a stage. Are you gonna sit there and tell me with a straight face that they make their games sober? I think not! They probably frequented this place during the game's development, and Reggie and Iwata did shots. Or something like that. Reggie might not have been working. They did shots. What's interesting to note about these stages, though, with the exception of Dummy and Test, unfortunately, is that all of them seem to be early versions of stages found in Brawl. It's said that Akenia is Castle Siege, Ice Top and 10-2 both being the same, are said to be an early version of Summit. Stages aside, the wondrous action replay will allow you to completely destroy everything, and also play as previously unplayable characters, such as Giga Bowser, the Fighting Wireframes, Master Hand, which yes, you can access Master Hand without the action replay. If you didn't know, go get another controller and have fun, kids! Crazy Hand, and my favorite Nintendo character, Sandbag. See, I love Sandbag because he doesn't give a fuck. Look at him. He's down for whatever. You want to party? He'll be there. He was already wasted. Now, even though these characters are playable, they are so in a limited form only, and some people have speculated that maybe they were meant to be playable characters at one point, but I seriously doubt that. I mean, no one would want to play as the Wireframes, and everybody would want to play as Giga Bowser, so you probably should have included him in the game, Nintendo. Master Hand and Crazy Hand are both bosses, which automatically makes them broken, so no, and Sandbag is the greatest person ever, and with this kind of evidence, how can you possibly disagree with what I just said? While talking about characters though, through the debug menu you can make it so that you can have a match with 6 characters instead of just 4. This was most likely than not used to test out the multi-man melee, as the GameCube only had the 4 controller ports and whatnot. And there was a left out Pokemon, Ditto, and he was left out because he broke the game. The idea would be that he would steal the moves of other players, but if there were 4 players, some issues would come up. So the idea was ultimately scrapped, though left on the disc for people to dig around with. Now, with Melee from here on out, it's pretty much minor aesthetic changes here or there, some changed names, and some rearranged shit. Not the most interesting stuff, so we're going to blow through it, and by that I mean we're going to lollygag and take our sweet ass time like we always do. Okay? Alright. In early builds of the game, the roster looked different, and you'll see it's missing character slots. This is most likely because they were earlier builds of the game. Hell, I think I remember playing one of those at a Walmart. God knows how long ago. It was probably around when the game came out or something like that. But when looking at early photos, or better yet, the special movie, which is awesome in so many dumb ways, I love it, you'll notice some differences in stages that range from platforms shown in a video but that aren't actually in the game, some interesting early designs for stages like this version of Mushroom Kingdom, and this version of Great Bay where you would be able to walk through the laboratory, and I suppose it's worth mentioning that on the stage select screens some of the stages were in different spots, so yay. But what is probably the most talked about changed element is the proximity mine from Perfect Dark, which appears as a trophy in the Japanese version and as a motion sensor bomb in the not Japanese version. The reason for this should be fairly simple to see. Rare was going with Microsoft, copyright is a bitch, Nintendo changed the trophy. Funny part is, they changed it from the Perfect Dark mine to a motion sensor bomb from GoldenEye, which they don't admit to it. They say it's top secret, but obviously that's what it fucking is. And what's funny is that both these games were made by Rare, so they removed a Rare-related object to avoid copyright issues, and they put a Rare-related object back in the game. Fantastic. But that's pretty much it for the beta of Super Smash Bros. Melee, though. Not a ton of info or huge changes, especially when compared to Brawl, and we're going to be talking about that later this month because it's still fighting game month, but still stuff that I find fascinating because I have no better hobbies. Ultimately, though, I'm not really bummed out about any of the removed content, if some of it was even intended for us to use in the first place, like the characters. I'm not bummed because the finished product is solid as hell, and if I have to give up Sandbag in order to have the Melee I know and love, then so be it. I hate you, Sandbag, so this end slates to you, motherfucker. This has been Gaming Mysteries. Thanks for watching. Whoa, hey guys, welcome back to Endslate. It's been a couple of weeks, or some, I don't remember the last, let me look. The last video I uploaded was on the 26th of June, and it is not the 26th of June. It's been a little while. It's Fighting Game Month. I hope you enjoyed the first video on Fighting Game Month. There are going to be more, by the way. Slow start, I know, but, you know, I had to do things. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. I love Melee. I also got a chance to mention Reggie and make fun of Chris G. So, that's pretty good. That's success in my mind. But we're in Endslate, so sit down and let me. I have some things I'd like to tell you. But if you look up 2 videos, both going at the same time, and I'm gonna recommend them to you and only you. One of them is the last video I did, which was a bullshit creepypasta story time on Pokemon Wounded Silver, and that story was special. I don't think we were able to get that story deleted. It wasn't shitty enough, unfortunately. We'll try again next time, though, because, you know, there is always next time. There's always a tomorrow. And the other video I'm going to recommend is the Gaming Mysteries I did on the original Super Smash Bros. Because why the fuck not? And hate this part. The end of the end slate. The end of the end slate. I'll make longer end slates later this month. Don't worry about it. But if you guys like the video and you want to see more of them and you want to subscribe, then hi. My name is Andrew, but my username is Yuriofwind. Thank you. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. And in that case, my name is not Andrew, I guess. And if you like the video and you want to like it, then you can do that. And if you don't want to, then you don't have to. Then my name, in that case, would also not be Andrew. Yeah, that pretty much clears it up. See you guys next time on Endslate. Who knows what kind of shenanigans old Yuriofwind is going to get up to. Probably not many. But you never know. So, see you next time.